Hello everyone, I'm Marissa HollenBall Dent and I'm the director of HollenBall Juniors. We are a junior Olympic volleyball club located in Greenbrier, Arkansas. Today I'm going to explain our program and I'm going to answer frequently asked questions. So how we all started is 11 years ago when I was in high school. Club volleyball was not very popular and I was possibly going to try out for Little Rock Juniors out of Little Rock. And so the director, BJ Golden, actually talked to my dad about just the need for a volleyball club in this area and how if he wanted, we could start a club in Greenbrier. So I wasn't making the haul all the way to Little Rock back and forth each week for practices, tournaments, things like that. And so with my dad wanting to help our school ball get better and us girls play together and get better for the next season, we formed one team and it was just me, my group of friends that played for Greenbrier High School, and that was how it began as Greenbrier Volleyball 11 years ago. So our club slowly grew as more girls in Greenbrier wanted to play club volleyball and wanted to get better as a team for school volleyball. And after I was done playing school ball, I coached for my dad. So after that third season, my dad sadly passed away, and so with no greater want and need than to continue his legacy and what he had built and just continue to pour into these girls that wanted to get better at volleyball and grow their skills, I took over the club in honor of my dad after he passed away. So in honor of my dad, we changed the club name from Greenbrier Volley to HollenBall Juniors. My maiden name is HollenBall, and so we have a play on words like HollenBall, like a volleyball, is where HollenBall Juniors came from. So that's where we started. Our intention was never to grow, but this last year we had almost 270 girls try out. So we were able to form 23 teams from the girls that we kept and making us the 7th largest club in the Delta region. So it's just been a huge blessing. Our intentions were never to grow, but God has just poured into this club and has blessed this club beyond belief. I definitely would not be able to do it without all of the support that I've had from so many. My assistant directors are Cindy Hartman and Kobe Hartman. And so Cindy Hartman actually helped my dad start this club, and she started the volleyball program at Greenbrier and was the head coach for almost 30 years. And she is now the 7th grade coach still. And then Kobe Hartman played collegiately at CBC, and she helps coach at Quitman schools. And so they really pour in a lot to this club. We also have several on our administration and our board, such as Lachey Smith, Cindy Hawkins, Misty HollenBall, and Sam Robinson. And then we also have amazing coaches that pour into this club as well. We couldn't do it without all of them. So we have very qualified coaches. Most of them have played collegiately, coach at school ball, or have intensive experience with coaching. And you can find all of their bios on our staff page on our website. So after this video, if you have any questions, you can call or text me anytime at 501-581-9594. You can also visit our website for all of the things that we're going to go over today, and that is www.hollenballjuniors.com. We also have a Facebook page that you can follow that we post a lot of updates and things like that as well. So feel free to ask any questions at any point. I'd be happy to help. The first thing that we're going to look at today is the team comparison page. This can be found on our website under information, www.hollenballjuniors.com. The developmental team is the first team we're going to look at, and you have this option if you're in the 4th or the 5th grade. So one of the biggest questions I get is, what is the difference between a developmental and a local team? They are both great for beginners, so even if you've never played it before, you're welcome to try out for either team. They're both going to teach those fundamental skills. So the big difference is just the time and the cost investment. So if you've never tried volleyball and you're trying to see if you like it, the developmental team may be a good option for your first year. So when you're looking at the comparison of what each package offers, the developmental team only practices one time a week for an hour, whereas the local team practices a little bit longer. They have an hour and a half practices. They also only have 2 Power League tournaments, where the local Power Leagues, they have 5. They also have a shorter season. So they're going to end, the developmental team is going to end in February, and the local team is going to end several weeks later. And so the cost obviously is going to be different because you're getting a lot less time with the developmental team. And so the season dues for developmental team is $145, and that's broken into 2 payments. And so, like I said, you have the option for the developmental team at 4th grade or 5th grade. Now, our local teams, they are offered at all ages, whether you're in 4th grade or whether you're in 11th grade, 12th grade. And so when you look at that, they're going to practice an hour and a half each week, and there's going to be 5 Power Leagues. And so these Power Leagues, what they look like at the developmental and the local level are half-day Power Leagues. So you'll either be in the morning or the PM wave, and either in Conway, Greenbrier, or Little Rock. And you will play round robin. And so it's like you're going to play every team that's in your pool is what it looks like at that level. And so these tournaments are already on our website, and there's a tournament page, and so you can look at these dates to get them in your calendar as of now. Season dues for the local team are going to be $425, and that's broken into 3 payments. And then we have the regional team. And so regional teams, we start that starting in 7th grade, the 13U, and then we have that option all the way up. And so once you get 13U, you can try out for a local team or a regional team. And so regional teams are travel teams. And so you have a list on the tournament dates. We have a list of all the travel tournaments that we may go to, and they're 2-day tournaments. So pool play is on Saturday, and then bracket play is on Sunday. And so how you do on Saturday will depend on the bracket you get in on Sunday, and then you'll play until you can determine a winner from the 2-day tournament. And so those tournaments, like I said, there's a list on the tournament page. There's a long list of a lot of the ones that we usually go to, because each age and each team may look differently. And so each team will go to 5 to 7 of those 2-day tournaments, along with 1 Power League or a scrimmage. And so these teams practice twice a week, and they are an hour and a half, and their season ends, it just depends on the team, in March or April. And so these teams will cost $650 to $900 for your season dues. And so this will be broken up into 4 payments throughout season. And so the reason that it kind of varies is because each team will be a different cost breakdown based on what tournaments you're going into, because we want to make it as affordable as possible rather than just charge one price from 7th to 12th grade regional teams and just pocket any extra. We want to make sure that each team is based on the tournaments that you go to and that it's as affordable as possible for y'all. And so as you can see, each team is going to have 8 to 10 players per team, and they will all practice at the Greenbrier Event Center. Now, we do have a few satellite teams, and I'll get into that a little bit later, and so they might practice at various locations, but our club is located out of Greenbrier, so if you come and try out and are not on one of those specific satellite teams, we practice in Greenbrier, and I'll explain what those look like in a little bit as well. So our teams are formed based on age, skill level, position, but most importantly, they are formed based on skill level. So at each age division, in each grade, there will be an A team, B team, C team, D team, so forth, based on skill level. And how we determine those scores to form our teams is at tryouts. We have a very objective system where we have 4 to 8 coaches taking stats of all of the girls while they're doing drills at tryouts. And so you will get an average score on each skill, each of the main basic skills that we're looking at. And then we'll take an average of all of those averages and give you one big score when we combine and add all of your averages to give you a final score to compare along with your comments and the subjective things that the coaches had to say with that objective number to be able to compare players and positions and skills to form those teams based on those skill levels. And so if you were to try out for a regional team and not make one of the regional teams at that age division, you would automatically be placed on a local team. And so you have the ability to still make a local team if you do not make a regional team that you are trying out for one of those higher level travel teams. We do try to keep as many players as possible. And so last year we were able to form 23 teams. We do have to cut players sometimes, but that does not begin until 7th grade. And so if you are 4th through 6th grade, you will make a team. And so I know tryouts can be nerve-wracking sometimes, especially if you've never had a tryouts before, but all players 4th through 6th grade will make a team. Now, with that being said, we will have 4 optional clinics, and so they will all be at the Greenbrier Event Center, and they will be for ages, all of the 4th through 6th graders. They're optional. You're welcome to come as many as you'd like. You can text me to sign up, or you can show up at the door. They're $20 each from 6 to 7:30 at the Greenbrier Event Center, which is 5 Lois Lane. And the dates are October 26th, October 28th, November 2nd, and November 4th. So it's the Tuesdays and Thursdays, the 2 weeks before tryouts. And what we'll do at those clinics is we will focus on fundamental skills and working on all those basic skills to help them feel prepared for tryouts and feel more confident. We'll even run through some of the drills that we will be doing at tryouts. So if you've never played before, it's okay. We'd love for you to try out. We're going to help you feel more confident before tryouts. And that's what club season is all about, especially at those younger ages, is learning and bettering your skills no matter where you're at. Okay, so now we're going to look at the cost breakdown for the different teams, which can also be found under the information tab on our website. So as you can see, every team has to get a Delta Region membership for $52, and that is required for us to put you on a roster, but it's also required for insurance purposes. And so you have to renew this every year, and it's separate from the school ball, and so this is required for any club that you would play for. Another consistent fee per each team is the $35 to try out for the team. Another fee that we have is the jersey fee, and as you can see, it's going to vary per each team. So if you're on a developmental team, the jersey cost will be $25. If you're on a local team, it'll be $55. And if you're on a regional team, it'll be $110 because you're getting 2 jerseys. And so that developmental jersey is actually a different brand, and so it's a little bit cheaper for those girls just trying out volleyball for their first time or at a lower level. And so the jerseys for the local and regional teams are name brand. They're Mizuno, so they're really nice long sleeve jerseys. And so the local teams will have one at $55, and the regional teams will get 2 jerseys each per girl because they're the ones going to the 2-day tournaments. And then you can see the only other thing are the season dues broken down into different payments. So the developmental team will have 2 payments due, and it's the $145 season dues broken into 2 different dates. The local team season dues are $425, and we have it broken into 3 different payments throughout season. And then regional team varies on which team you're on, but season dues will be $650 to $900 for season dues, and we will give you that payment schedule so you can plan and budget as soon as we form teams. So you'll have plenty of time to prepare for budgeting throughout the season. And so those payments are broken into 4 different payment dates. And you can see there when your payment deadline is due. You can pay online on our website, or you can pay cash or check at practice, or give it to me and kind of arrange it through that. And so the first payment, however, is the only payment that's due online for everyone because it will actually be due before we start practices. And so as soon as you accept a team placement after tryouts, everyone, whether you play on a developmental team, a local team, or regional team, will have a payment due online by November 17th. So as soon as tryouts and you find a team placement, you'll go online to pay that first payment on the HollenBall Juniors website. And so it's $85 by November 17th for the developmental team, and then the local team and the regional team both have a payment due online by November 17th. That's at $150. And then you can see when the jersey and the other payments are due on this chart as well. So each player will provide their black spandex, knee pads, and playing shoes. And so those can just be tennis shoes. And you do not have to wear spandex if you feel more comfortable. You are welcome to wear black shorts. So we are considered an affordable club. And I know some of y'all that may not be familiar with club volleyball might be really shocked looking at all that's involved with the cost. But we are a lot different than like a Pee-wee league. And there's a lot of costs involved with club volleyball that do make it a bit more expensive. But it's a lot more competitive option than if you were playing in a Pee-wee league. And so what that looks like, some of our big differences is they're not volunteer coaches, but we're paying for qualified coaches. And so most of our coaches have played collegiately, coached school ball, or have extensive coaching experience. And so you can look at all of our bios on our HollenBall Juniors website, but we have some really great coaches that are going to take care of you and pour into your girls. Also getting the opportunity to play club teams from all over Arkansas and even surrounding states. And so you're getting to play a variety of different club teams. However, we do have some options to help offset finances because we do want to make it available for anyone to have the opportunity to be able to play volleyball. And so one thing we do are scholarships to help support those in financial need. And so we have a scholarship form that you can fill out on our website, and then you would just need to contact me to get that to me so that we can decide who will get those scholarships based on financial need. And so you'll find that form under information on our website, and then just contact me and we can find a way for you to get me that form before November 20th. We also have a serve-a-thon fundraiser, and so it is completely optional, but what it is you find sponsors individually on your own, and then you'll come to our serve-a-thon at the Greenbrier Event Center December 4th, and you would serve 50 times, and we can modify it for the younger girls if they're not able to serve yet. And then you would go back and collect that money from your sponsors. So if you're interested in that, you can start finding sponsors now, and then you will come on December 4th to get your serves and then go collect that money from your sponsors. Okay, so there are a few things required before tryouts, whether you're trying out for the developmental, local, or regional team. So the first thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to get that $52 Delta membership online. So you will go to www.deltavolleyball.net to get this membership. So it'll be $52. It may be broken into two different charges, but that'll be the total that you're looking for. It will require you to get a Sports Engine account before you get this membership. You'll renew this membership every year. And so if you've played before, you'll just log into your account to renew that membership. So after you've gotten that Delta membership number, you'll write that down when you've gotten that membership, because then you're going to go to our website and you're going to fill out our HollenBall Juniors pre-registration form. And this is just to allow us to have contact information so that we're able to touch base after tryouts and once teams are formed. And so one of the questions, though, since that Delta membership is required, is it'll ask you to enter that number. So that's why you want to do that first. Some of the other things on that website that it will ask you is your practice availability. And that's another big question, is when are practices? So what we do is when you go out and fill that form, it asks you when you can practice. And so you want to make it as available as possible, because what we'll do is we'll look at all the 8 to 10 players on a team, and then we will find the day and time that works best for each of those players and coach. And so you'd really want to, if you have basketball games or anything like that, you'd put on there, I can't practice Monday, Thursdays, or so forth, or I can't practice Thursdays before 7 if you have a conflict with another sport or anything like that. And so you just want to make it specific as possible so that we can work with everyone's schedules to find a day and time that works for everyone on that team. And so we do have a lot of players that are multi-sport. So school sports do come first, and so make sure you consider that. But we've had a lot of players that have been very successful with playing multiple sports, and they were able to juggle and balance both to where it didn't conflict too much. Another question it asks is, it will ask you, what age you are, and it'll have the age chart. And so sometimes your age based on the age chart may not be your actual age right now based on your birthday. And so just make sure to follow that chart and put this correct age. And so that's the time you'll show up to a tryout. Now we'll say if you're really young, really old for your grade, we are able to play you up, or we can use an age waiver to play you down. Just make sure that you communicate that with me so that I know that you want to play with your grade. So there's going to be a question that also asks, is there anything else that we should know? And so that's where you can put those comments as well if your age conflicts with where you should be grade-wise. And so if you're wanting to play with that age, please communicate that on that question. You can also put anything about practice conflicts or sports or just anything else that you would like us to know in that box as well. So I know I mentioned the satellite teams earlier, and this is something that we do. So since we originally started with the priority of our school team getting better for school ball, we want to keep that as a focus because we know just the benefit that it's had for our school. And so we want that to be a possibility for other schools wanting to get better with the girls they play with. And so if you have a lot of girls from your school and you're all wanting to be on the same team, we obviously can't guarantee it or we cannot promise it, but we will do our best as possible to put you on a team. And all you have to do is you put on the accommodations when you say, is there anything else we should know? You would put, I would like to be on a team with, and then list everyone's name if possible. And so what that does is that allows us to try to make that accommodation if we're able to, but it's not guaranteed. Now, like I said, we do look at skill level first. So that's going to be something we look at when we're forming that complete team, is we want to make sure that everyone's at a comparable skill level so that it's fair and represented well when they go play at tournaments. And so sometimes we have an entire team of girls that are all from one school. And so that's where I said earlier is we typically practice at Greenbrier, but that might be an option that we can look at alternative practice locations if you have an entire group of girls that are wanting to be a team and stick together, and another practice location might be more convenient for all of you together. So that's something that you would contact me about individually as well if that's something that is relevant to what you're looking at. Now this is where you will pay the $35 tryout fee, and this is not refundable if you do not make a team. There is also an option that asks for donations. And so what that donations is for are for the kids that we mentioned earlier that we choose for the scholarships. And so last year we were able to grant a significant number of scholarships for those kids that are in financial need and helps provide the opportunity for everyone to play. And so if you feel led that you'd like to donate a little bit towards those scholarships, then feel free to donate there. That helps more girls be able to play the sport that we all love. And then last, you are going to look at your age chart or your grade. And so that's when you'll come to tryouts. So tryouts are November 6th and 7th. You'll get there about 30 minutes early to check in, and you'll bring proof of your Delta membership. And so that's the $52 membership that you purchased for insurance reasons. And so you will bring proof of that. You can print out proof or you can have digital proof on your phone, but we just have to check you in and have proof that you have that digital membership or that Delta membership to try out. And so after tryouts, we will send you an email or a text in just the next few days. And so it will tell you your team placement and where you were placed, and you will have 24 hours and you can accept or decline your team placement. Now we'll say with the younger girls, we usually have those teams formed, and if we don't hear back from you, we're going to assume that you're accepting. And so with those older girls, those 7th and up, the ones that we do start cutting, we would give you 24 hours to accept or decline your position and the team that you made, and that will allow us to provide other girls opportunity if you were declining your offer. And then shortly after that, we'll send you a link to make sure that you click through a few things to get affiliated with our club and update any changes to your USAV membership if needed. And then after that, once all of that's complete, we'll be able to add you to a roster indicating your full season commitment. With that being said, the commitment of being a team player all season, as well as the cost commitment as well. And so once you commit to a team in those few days after tryouts, you will have until November 17th to pay your first payment online on the HollenBall Juniors website. And everyone, no matter whether you're developmental, local, or regional team, will pay that first payment online on the HollenBall Juniors website. And then your coach will contact you in the next few weeks, and practices will begin the first week of November 28th. So we do have a player and parent guidelines, if you don't mind to read through those. Those are on our website under the information. Some of the big things is that we just want you to represent our club well, and we want to represent our club well. And so we just ask that you are mindful of that throughout the season and to help represent HollenBall Juniors. There is not equal playing time, and so obviously at the younger ages, there's going to be more of an emphasis of letting everyone play and getting that exposure and that experience so that you can grow and develop. But as you get older and it becomes more competitive, there's a lot of emphasis on that you're playing to be part of the team and the practices and just the time that you're putting in. But the equal playing time, you may not be playing as much as the person beside you. So we do want feedback just throughout this season. So anytime I want you to reach out to me if there's any concerns, any questions, or you don't understand something. And a lot of times we can clear things up just by having a conversation. But we want you to be happy this season, and we want you to feel like you had a worthwhile experience at HollenBall Juniors. And so I would much rather you come to me at any point so that I can try to make things better, because if I don't know about it, then we're not able to make any changes. And so at any point, if you have any feedback regarding the club or your coach, please reach out to me anytime throughout season. So we're hoping that we have another amazing experience. We know that we will. We've been so blessed with just the players and the coaches and just everyone that makes HollenBall Juniors possible. So we will have 2 stores open shortly where you can buy your HollenBall Juniors gear. Our local store, Bleacher Bling, with LaDawn and Heather, have the cutest HollenBall Juniors gear. And so you can access that shortly on our website where you can buy a lot of HBJ gear. We'll also have another store, Midwest Volleyball, where they'll have some HollenBall Juniors apparel, but they'll also have some gear such as volleyball shoes, knee pads, things like that, if you need to get any of that. So please reach out to me with any questions. We're really excited for this season. So once again, follow us on Facebook if you haven't, HollenBall Juniors, because we post a lot of updates there. We're really excited for this season. If you have any questions, reach out to me anytime. Thank you. Have a great day.